You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. Suicidal, depressed, but you won't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. You feel alone even though the people surround you. Popping pills every night even though you know they can't solve it. The emotional pain, it just seems way too heavy. Your mind is racing.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Hey, what's up, and welcome to the Artist Exchange radio show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I am your host, Nate Couser. Today is an interesting day. One, we're going to have an interesting interview in the second half of the show. One of our mentees that I was working with a couple weeks ago is back, and we'll be having an interesting conversation curated by him. I am here today. This first part of the show is just some gripes. I don't know. I don't like to complain. I really hate complaining because it feels like you don't progress in any way, shape, fashion, or form. But what I am excited to do now is really focus on some of the things that I've just observed in the last week. One, as an artist, my work is really important to me in terms of keeping it safe and keeping it mine and keeping the integrity of what it's supposed to be, just keeping that intact. And I am really, I've been seeing some things lately with the integrity of the arts community at large. And I'm not going to say here in Baltimore because I've been a part of other arts programs throughout this city and other cities, and I've seen some of the similar issues. I've seen similar issues come up when you're working with individuals and for whatever reason it doesn't work out or it doesn't continue, and it could be for any reason. You then see your work recycled in a different way. My integrity means a lot to me. It means my artwork, and I'll go backwards. I stopped performing because I got tired of people telling me what my limitations were. I stopped creating because people were nickeling and diming my designs and my creativity. I stopped producing because it got really political in terms of who would come to events and what I had to do to get people at events. It just got too political. And at the end of the day, I am and will always be an artist. And I don't want anybody to ever to forget that. Like that's one of my stipulations as an artist, that my work is mine. And I stress ownership of your work before you bring it to other people. And that's kind of hard to do sometimes because intellectual property is kind of a gray area, because certain things you can't register or copyright, but most of the stuff you can. So I believe you need to flush out your ideas and be strong in what it is that you're looking for. Remove any emotional attachment from it and go in there as a business owner, a creative business owner, and really own your work. And it's not to say everything needs to be copyrighted or registered before you go into the meeting, but you need to have clear, written out processes. And then whomever you're talking to or trusting that information with needs to sign a contract that what is shared in this meeting will not go beyond this meeting. And that includes them then creating. Now, I've been in situations where I've sat down with people and I've created things and I've given my input on programming or processes or creating classes or lectures or workshops or events, and that person for whatever reason dragged their feet, and I was stuck with my integrity intact because I didn't want to go forth and like do things with what we were talking about. But I've learned now to go into these meetings where I am planning to do something and have ownership in my ideas, ownership in my time and my energy. When you're sitting down, and even when I go to other business owners or I'm with other companies and I'm talking about things I can help them with, there needs to be an agreement of what it is that you are bringing to the table, what your value is. That has to be a conversation before any business gets done. And it makes it awkward and it kind of soaks up time a little bit, but you have to go into these meetings. I am tired of going into meetings or connections or partnerships with individuals with no understanding of my value on the table. Now, I know my value, but I have not expressed it. And I'm speaking I'm speaking in a direction of me not going into these meetings valuing my input and what my responsibility is versus the responsibility of those individuals across the table from me. And I really stress that we have to begin to legitimize our creativity. We can't expect for people to invest in us, to support us, to buy tickets from us, and everything in between and everything outside of that if we haven't put forth the work that is necessary. There are a couple projects that I'm working on now, and I understand now why people do work in silence, because often ideas get taken or stolen, or partnerships get the miscommunication that happens in partnerships can end ugly and really tear down the value of what you're doing. And I'm really, as an artist, I'm tired of that happening. And I've tried many different ways to work with certain groups of people and go against what has been said and what is the reality of the brokenness that is our community, and that's in the business world and the creative world alike, and not just with artists, but just in general. And I'm just getting a little tired of just the status quo. We have to, and even on the other side of the crooks and thieves, you would get so much more out of something if you valued it. And crooks and thieves don't value people work. And I've worked with crooks and thieves that were pleasant, that had great smiles, that were so gracious and nice. But at the end of the day, you stole my energy, you stole my time, even if you didn't steal my work. And I'm feeling it from a number of artists. So I asked you, I asked a question because I've grown. Well, not growing like it's new, but I've had trust issues within the art community for a number of years, and I'm trying to figure out how to move through that, and despite that, and with that. And as an artist, I ask people, what is it that you really want? And then you have partnerships that don't really end well because people aren't honest with what they want. I I'm trying to figure out how we get to a place where we all can work together, and it be honest, and it be with integrity, and it be with I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it in this way now, because so much has happened, so much has been done, and it keeps happening, and we keep finding ourselves in this space of not being able to be honest with each other and be and have integrity in what we do, and I really don't. I'm trying to, even as I'm speaking right now, I'm trying to answer the question, because I'm looking at how some people answer this question that I put on Facebook, and I'm gonna try to pull out some of them now, and that's gonna be difficult. I'm trying to share and whatnot at the same time, but I left a simple message on my page, and that message simply said, what's the best thing to take for trust issues? Now, I was being a little creative with the wording, but a lot of people, I think certain people, for me, took it personal, like I was talking, and some people really, I guess, got what I was saying. Amachandra says, time with self and stock and boundaries. And really, and that one right there kind of really spoke to where I was. And boundaries, before you get to a place, is set the tone. I'm a school teacher. I have this quarter, I have pre-K and first grade, two of the toughest grades to work with in terms of youth, because a lot of understanding isn't there. Even though the energy is there, a lot of understanding is not even there. So I'm having to set boundaries in the classroom. I'm having to set rules and guidelines so the rest of the quarter goes smoothly. And one of the things that I'm noticing that correlates with what I'm speaking about now in terms of ownership of your work, and is going into these meetings not looking for money. When we chase dollars, we continue to go in this ever-ending circle. And you can get out of that circle at any moment, but we stay in this rat where we are constantly, so we let our ideas freely flow from our lips without any type of disclosure agreements or safety agreements that kind of protect my work in the midst of even a conversation or a meeting about the work. But because we see dollar signs, we often lose focus of the residuals, or if I'm, and one of the things that I don't want to happen is I don't want artists to then lose sight of. I don't want artists to lose sight of opportunity. Everything isn't always give and take. Sometimes you have to give a little and you'll get a lot, or you'll get a little more to help you get to the next level to get a lot. But I don't want people to become so stingy with their work that nobody's showing anything, because often you have to prove yourself. And I don't care how high you get up or how well you are, you have to continue to prove yourself. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Use baby shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home walk restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
Finding best potatoes for French fries.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Brought to you by understood.org and the Ad Council.
First they love you, then desert you. Leave with a plate full with no spoon. It ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste. I've been bad, burned, and fucked over. But remain strong through the Passover. Kicking haters out of the way like masked over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't the man to me that let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, no pan I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see. I beat the haters, they know I'm greater. That's why they buzzing for the elevator. But I can't save you, we too loud on the pedal stool. Don't carry favors, always got your hand out demanding favors. When I just looked out, now you need more paper. I can't breathe, give me 3 feet. I never let y'all be the death of me. When my patience run out there, yeah, nigga OT. Cause they wanna see me down like I'm an NCT. 6 words, get the fuck away from me. See, I help you out if you can help yourself. I keep it G till I DIE. Now excuse me while I get back to PC. HOP ain't losing sleep while your third eye always on me. I'm steady green just to feed the team. My boo, she know that I'm king when chasing my dream. These niggas it seems I rip them, trash them, then put on new jeans. Man, see the problem is, man, you know, I keep it 100, man. You know what I mean? Like, if I got it, then you got it. You know what I mean? But if I don't got it, then I'ma give it. You feel me? But I definitely got you through the ride, man. Let's get it, yo.
I'm really getting tired of ungrateful ass niggas. They really about to turn me to a hateful ass nigga. Like I was never there when you never had figures. Pull triggers for you niggas when you caught up in the trenches. Man, I really don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but I really don't feel it. Niggas really know that I've been there from the beginning. But the more I see niggas side switch, it make me wanna bring it closer to the end. And that's why I can't fuck around with these niggas. I'll fuck around with my hoes. Cause niggas acting like bitches and hoes acting like bros. Man, I swear I really don't get it. How people switch up they roles. First it was nothing but love, but nowadays I don't know. It seems like anything goes. Where can I go? Cause lately fucking with you, I just stand at a fork in the road. It's hurting my soul. When I'm around you, I shouldn't feel like I just stay on my toes. So where do we go from here? Get dough from here? Or are we gonna end it on the road right here? Cause either way, whether it's left or the right on my property, niggas gon' blow around here. Fuck cities up while we do shows around here. Keep our music up while we blow Joe around here. Don't be looking salty if you're not going nowhere. Should've kept it with the movement instead of moving over there. Cause I'm getting to the point where I just don't care. Know you're thinking to yourself that it's just not fair. But you made your choice and I won't retort. Just know ain't no fucking coming back round here. And we shining and grinding. You mad that you ain't at the top and you see what we climbing. Our music is timeless. I thought you would witness the vision, but it's obvious that you blinded. I thought we was brothers. I thought we was fam. But it's plain to see that you don't give a damn. Everything cool when we out selling grams, but now what's the problem? A mic in my hand, man. Dang.
I feel you, my nigga. See, niggas be saying just one way of life when there's billions of possibilities that happen on a day-to-day basis. Don't judge us cause you ain't where you supposed to be at in life. Instead of envy or try and bring niggas to your level, strive for better from yourself, not the people around you, man. Pay attention, wake up.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like, yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up against, go hard. It don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response, but they love to hear me talk, so I just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out the darkness, and my word is my bond. Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or in the way, so get lost. Be a man of everything you say you stand for. Lead your people by example, being hands-on. If you're back against the wall, then get your mash on. Fix your vision on the future like it's fast forward. The world is yours in due time, ain't gotta ask for it. I'm from the school of hard knocks, I took a crash course. Shit be stressful, my nigga, that's why I'm getting high. But that's life, and it's the code that I live by. And you know how it is, where we at, nigga. They say money can't buy happiness, but I be happy as a bitch when I can have dinner. Learn from your losses or you end up like the last nigga. I fall off, I bounce back, I really come from the dirt.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
What's up? Welcome to the Artist Exchange radio show. Just remember, if you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up at info@beexposedradio.com or the Artist Exchange radio show at gmail.com. If you want your own show, if you've been thinking about a show, if you have an idea for a show, hit us up, info@beexposedradio.com. In the subject bar, say, Nate, I want a show, and we'll get right to that, helping you create your own platform. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Artist Exchange or any of the shows on our station, you can hit me up and I'll definitely point you in the right direction. The Artist Exchange radio show at gmail.com. We also have a series spot on the Artist Exchange where a series, either 4 weeks or 6 weeks, we support you in promoting your space, and you come on here as an expert and you teach our Artist Exchange audience what it is that you do. We have a couple people that are coming up. Shout out to C. Natasha Richburg. She was the last one who did. Well, actually, no. We had a veterans organization come, and they did 4 weeks here, and it was really interesting because we got to talk to some veterans one-on-one. And moving forward, what I was speaking about earlier was more so this ownership in your work. Really doing the work and the due diligence that you need. And I'm guilty of this myself, being really excited about starting a program and not taking my time and really figuring things out, because often I work a little bit faster than other people and I'm ready to get started a lot faster. And some people put things off for another time, and that don't really work for me. Often, especially if you're bringing something to me, I have more patience. But if I'm bringing something to you, I normally know when I want this to be done. And people drag their feet, and I understand it. But if you say you want to do something, come on, let's do it. You know, I have a bank of ideas and creativity, and I'm always ready to work. And I love working with individuals that get my speed. Shout out to the Fashion Umbrella Foundation. I'll be working with them a little bit more. We have a couple programs coming up, and I'll shout them out as we speak. I'll probably do that in the next segment. I'll get that information out because we only have a couple minutes, 2 minutes here. But just looking through the space and just in terms of my Instagram and stuff like that, some of the things that I've been seeing, and I've been talking to a lot of artists lately, and I'm really I'm excited about what this could be and where it is going. I love doing this exchange, but I want to do more. We have a series that's coming up, and we'll be interviewing a number of individuals throughout the Baltimore series under our Fire Starters banner, and that's in conjunction with the Pill Center, but that's a program that I've already been commissioned to do, and I'll be finishing that out. Also, I have a series coming up, so if you have a barbershop or a beauty salon, hit me up. We'll be doing some on-the-site interviews with a number of barbershops and beauty salons throughout the Baltimore, hopefully the DMV area, if we can get far. So hit me up. If you own a barbershop or a beauty salon, I'll definitely want to hit you up so we can fit you into the schedule that we have. We have a couple already lined up for interviews, and that series will be coming out in the summer of next year. So definitely look forward to that. Do we have anything else before we go to break? Before we start the next part of our interview for today, I just want to close out this segment by saying, get everything in writing. Always lead with I don't like text messages. Lead with an email. Follow up with an email. So own your work. Own your work. Own your work. Own your ideas. Work at business, and you're getting paid from them because that's a part of what you are given. But have boundaries, set boundaries, healthy boundaries, and get agreements ahead of time. Don't just show your work and you haven't discussed what the parameters were, what the boundaries for them and for you are. Because some people are looking for you to just pour into them and then make money from it, and then really not looking to benefit you at all. And I'm not even angry because none of this surprises me. I've been through this already, but I'm feeling the heat from a number of other artists, and I understand the anger and the frustration. So we're gonna close out this segment. We're gonna come right back. So don't go anywhere. Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Business owners, need more customers? Offer fantasy sports contests and generate more sales. Restaurants, bars, hotels, auto dealerships, real estate offices. Whatever your business, fantasy sports contests can help you increase your sales and bring you more loyal customers. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. Our software lets you customize contests fast and easy for your brand. That's right. Visit Fanify.com or call 888-55-SPORT. That's 888-55-SPORT or visit Fanify.com.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, and I was thinking, like,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Skirt, 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 skirt.
shirt answers me. I get off on the way that she answers me. First time saw her, I knew she was the one for me.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm definitely afraid of the dentist, and I need to go back to the dentist because I'm having some issues and it's causing a lisp, and I'm frustrated at the lisp, but the thought of going to a dentist's office is terrifying, and it's forcing me to work harder to talk, and that's frustrating. But just needed to say that because it was like kept tapping my shoulder. So we have Josue. I said it right for the first time ever. We have Josue. If you don't remember Josue, he joined us back in July a couple times, and he's back. He's a part of a mentoring program that I am doing in conjunction with LTYC and Marilyn Mosby. She started this initiative, and we're working with her and LTYC, and I work for LTYC, Leaders of Tomorrow Youth Center, and we did a mentoring program over the summer with individuals like Josue, and they come into your environment and you teach them just things. I always did mentoring programs growing up. I was a part of 2 different programs, and they were very beneficial to me because growing up, and my uncles were kind of like so Project Raise, and I can't remember the other I was a part of. Oh, that's gonna make me go crazy. It was a man, and that was sponsored by David Mitchell. He's a judge, and his wife, Miss Mitchell, is all this going on. And I cannot think of the name of it. And that's gonna make me mad. Can you hear me now? But we're here with Josue. Enough about myself. I really liked having Josue on because I see a little bit of potential in him. He may not see it himself, but it's always great for me because I wouldn't be the artist that I am today. I wouldn't be the entrepreneur that I am today without the support of many people who poured into my life. And you have to give back often. And I don't think anybody's a charity case, but it's very helpful to have individuals kind of in your life. And because I've had opportunities with those mentoring programs in elementary school, mind you, and those things got me to Project Raise, got me into private school, and that kind of shifted things because that could have went totally a different way. And I'm glad to be a part of it. But I want to let Josue reintroduce himself. Got a fresh haircut.
My name is Josue. Garcia, I'm 19 years old.
And we got to know a lot about Josue in the beginning. He told us a little bit about his story. And he's in a transitional period of his life where he's 19, about to not be a teenager anymore. He's almost a full-fledged adult now. He about to feel what bills feel like soon. And he's coming out of just this where his life was in terms of, is mine? Okay. In terms of just figuring out who he is. And I'm here to tell you, Josue, it's not going to happen to you in one day. You're not going to wake up and be like, oh my goodness. It's going to happen. That's going to happen like down the line. You're going to wake up one day and it's going to be clear to you. But one question is going to be clear. All the rest of them, you still going to have to experience life to kind of find the answers for them. But finding yourself and redefining yourself is like a daily, I don't want to call it a job because it's for the good, but it's a journey. It's definitely, and it's not always going to be easy. But what have you been up to since you've been last here?
Been dealing with some personal situations myself as I wasn't able to come back because I was trying to get my mindset back. And now that I feel better and my mindset is a little bit better.
Is it, how is it being in a different environment, in a different place, dealing with all these growing pains?
It's hard because sometimes it makes me want to give up on myself, but then I'm like, I can't go back.
So what keeps you pushing?
Motivation. Motivate myself. I have a lot of support figures in my corner supporting me and motivating me.
I like that answer because the last answer, you put all that on to one person. But now it seems like you're kind of spreading the wealth out there a little bit more. Is it, what has changed with you personally?
Nothing much, really. Just been focusing on myself, just trying to do better for myself. With my support systems.
You might got to speak up a little bit louder too.
With my support systems in my corner.
So you're finding more allies and more individuals. So it's not just you against the world as you once thought. I posted a question. I have trust issues. And I know that's something we talked about, something similar that we have in terms of building trust for you. What does it take for you to trust someone? I know totally trusting someone is hard, especially for guys. But how do you go about opening yourself up to feeling more trust for people?
I basically build a bond with them. I let them tell me some things, and I mean, I don't talk about nobody's business, but it's just my and how I grew up. I just keep stuff to myself. But if I feel that bond connecting with them, then yes, I'm gonna share some things about myself.
Is it hard trusting, or is it because of an experience, or was that always
an experience?
Is it hard for you to even once you've gotten close to somebody to still kind of lift that veil up a little bit?
Kind of really, yeah. Take some time for me, like just to get used to somebody, have that bond with them.
How are you preparing yourself? Because as an adult, life can be so much easier if you can start relationships like that versus like drawing it out and, you know, especially work environments. How are you preparing yourself for, that's a big thing about being an adult, trust.
I would say I just keep my circle small. I might meet new people and build friendships with them, but also I will keep myself stay back from them before I actually open up to somebody.
And I understand that. And me working with, I was teaching high school, and I noticed a lot of young people, especially the boys, it was hard for them to kind of just be themselves. In terms of your identity, how are you shaping that right now? Who you are? Is it, what's been a struggle in terms of kind of finding yourself or finding your identity?
I would say mostly people I keep in my circle.
Are they more like you or are they different from you?
They're a mixture of both. I could also figure out their backgrounds and adapt to how they feel, how they act, and stuff like that.
Are you, is it just the mic?
It might be the mic. Check one. It's working. It might be his voice too because he's not speaking.
So I speak up a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta.
In terms of, and this is for anybody that may not necessarily work with young people or aren't familiar with being around maybe groups of young people. It is that's an issue, and it's an issue that I've had to deal with in terms of being an arts teacher in many schools. The idea is that you have to like me, or you have to, I don't even want to say comfortable, but I just feel like young people need to like somebody in order to listen to them. Is that something am I correct by feeling that way, or?
I mean, part of it could be that way, but also is just the way somebody comes across.
Mm-hmm.
So say you met me the first time and I was rude.
Mm-hmm.
Your first instinct is, oh, he's a rude person.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to know me, you're like, oh, he's not actually rude. It's just the way that he came across. That's probably his ego, the way he comes across to everybody.
Do you find that in a lot of like adult, especially teen to adult relationships, just a misunderstanding based on that first initial meeting? How can, like for me, how can I go into a classroom and be more well received or received well or better? Because I don't want to be fake. I don't like the relationships to be false. But thinking about when you were in school, because it wasn't that much long ago, how would it have helped you, or how could your teachers have helped build the relationship that you and them had on their end better?
Talk to the person, talk to them, ask them basically like what they like, and you probably like the same thing.
But we only got to do that maybe like 2 months in a row before that young person be like, all right. But again, I'm maybe because that wasn't my story, or maybe that it just wasn't my, I don't remember that being a problem. But now it seems more of a problem. And I think more young people are going through adult things as children, or having to be adults a lot earlier than what they should be. But I'm trying to figure out ways to make the transition easier or smoother. And it's not always going to be easy, because I don't know what you've gone through versus what I've gone through. But especially in our school system here, and PG school system is much different. But how can teachers kind of speed up the process?
Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest. Just the school environment, how it is.
Mm-hmm. But how? Because often, sometimes classrooms are an island, even within a whole school community. In your opinion, how do you think teachers can be? I don't want to say light, because I don't come to school to be people's friends. As a child, I didn't do that. But as an adult, I don't come to school to be my students' friends. But I still want them to feel comfortable in the classroom, and I want them to feel comfortable enough to where they want to experience and they want to express, and they feel comfortable being able to express and being creative. And I know that a lot of that is their peers, it's not necessarily the teacher, but what would have made it easier for you? Do you think it was the teacher's fault, or do you take responsibility, or?
Part of it, I'll say it would be my fault and the other kids' fault. Because we're basically just at the mindset we just want to play games, be joking around. But when later on in life, when say I get a career into a job that I can't be joking around all the time, that I gotta be focused on my work. Then I'm gonna be thinking, oh, I should have done the same thing in school. I would have never been I wouldn't have no job, be jobless basically.
Who was that one teacher for you that kind of you related to the most, or you kind of connected with the most?
I would say a language arts teacher named Mr. Morales.
Mm-hmm. What was he able to do that none of the other teachers were able to do?
He understood like my background and where I came from, because also him being Hispanic and having Hispanic heritage and background.
So does that help when you see people that look like you? Would that have helped you better to have at least have some faculty that kind of look like you?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. It's just like he basically lived the same life I grew up living, and it basically like helped me. Like, oh, if he did this in his past and he grew up to be a teacher, then I could probably become more than just a teacher. I could become a mentor to somebody younger than me. I could make my own company, be an entrepreneur.
One of the things for me, the identity piece, so I'll say from first grade or pre-K, really, pre-K to 12th grade, I had one black male teacher. Now I don't like to make things about race, but that, and even that one teacher was inappropriate. And he was young and he felt like he needed to relate to us on our level versus bringing us up to his. So that wasn't the healthiest relationship, but in that whole time, that's all I saw. And I'm not putting all that weight on that one person, but I don't think the school systems that we were in thought about representation and how it, because we had mainly African Americans in my middle school, and we may have a handful of Hispanics in the school. And it was like 1-on-1 for both of us, and everybody else was white. And I felt like just the understanding of who we were was lost because we only had those two representations of somebody of color, other than the lunch lady. And everybody loved her because she kind of represented us, or was the closest thing that we had to a representation. In terms of now you're being 19, what are you looking forward to?
Started my own business. Well, first, I would say I would get into architecture business, and I like to build stuff, but also I like to break stuff, destroy stuff. So I would say be like a demolition architecture, like both, like say I want to build a building. I could go buy one building and destroy it and then rebuild it back up.
Okay.
So, but I also don't know what the specific word is for it, but it's a mixture of those two.
Well, there's some programs right now where you can get some hands-on training. A lot of that may be volunteer work. Like I know Habitat for Humanity, you're physically helping them to build the house. And those houses go to individuals. And most times, the individuals whose house that will be, they're working on that house as well. So I would look out for them. And there are a lot of other programs and companies out there that will let you come in and kind of shadow or intern or, thank you, that will give you that hands-on experience. So I would start just making that list of things you want to do and then seeking out some help to kind of connect you to them. And at where you're at right now, because you're starting off, it's going to be a lot of, not free work, but it's not going to be like, you're going to get $70,000 to do it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. I need some coffee or something. I feel like I'm not there.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous.
You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life.
Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm here with Mr. Josue. And for this portion, we're going to introduce our topics because we only have a couple minutes in this segment and then we'll get right into it. Pull up one of your topics and we can...
The Wire actor Christopher Clanton escaping, basically being looked for, police officer for escaping hospital.
So, Christopher Clanton, do you know what his role was on the riot? Because I'm not familiar. I was trying to look up his name, but it didn't come up. So, he was in the hospital, or was he arrested first? Which one?
He was, it said that he was arrested first. But
and they took him to the hospital.
Because he had to be examined. He already had something due to it, and he was going back.
So he had something that was already wrong with him when he got arrested. And when he was arrested, they took him to the hospital. And he ended up escaping. I'm wondering, how did he escape? Because there normally is an officer at the room.
The news said it was only one officer on the job right there watching him. And he said that he saw the police officer sniffing coke off the edge of his hand.
Oh, okay. Now I got you. So the officer was sniffing coke, so he took that as an opportunity to get out of there. So he asked
the police officer, he said something to him about it, and the police officer ended up taking his gun out of his bag and pointing at him and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to be you and have to fill you up with my whole mag," referring to the magazine.
Oh. That's crazy. So he's on the run now, or?
It was 3 days ago.
So he's out in Baltimore, just running the streets. That's scary. So what did he do? Did they tell you why he went to jail, or what did he do?
He failed to comply with a protective order against him.
Oh, okay. So it's probably like a bench warrant or something like that. That's interesting. And one of the things is I don't watch the news. And I feel like I am such a better person now. I feel like I don't know what's going on sometimes. So I try to find some credible sources to kind of get my news from. But I'm not a news watching individual because it can get depressing. Like you can really find yourself depressed and just depressed, basically. But this is interesting. It always interests me when certain people get arrested, their title or whoever they are, it gets associated with, like Christopher from The Wire gets arrested or on the run. So I wonder, like, what does he plan on doing? Like, why would you escape in a moment like that? Did he think the officer watching will do something to him?
I don't really know. But also he said that he wouldn't be the next victim to a police brutality murder.
See, that be stretching sometimes. Like, did he think, like, prior to him saying something to him, like, did he think that he would, like, go off on him because he was high or getting high?
Probably because the officer probably didn't want him saying anything about it.
Oh, that he was getting high. That's interesting. I just wonder why. First of all, why you ever get high? Like, what you in a hospital watching somebody as an officer, and you're doing like coke? What do you say, coke?
Cocaine.
That's crazy. I just don't have a get high feeling in me. Like, I don't know, like, what that need is for it, or like, let me just do this real quick. So the fact that he got caught, he caught him. He felt like his life was down in jeopardy. So that's his excuse for, like, escaping. Versus, like, telling somebody. Well, who could he tell, really? I'm had to look him up. I was trying to find him on here, but it wasn't really.
It was on Fox 5 News.
I think I found him. He just posted on the 14th, or somebody posted on the 14th. Christopher Fox claims. He says, hilarious how everybody got something to say and nobody is asking about my safety. Well, this is what happened. I caught the officer sniffing, like you said, sniffing a line of cocaine from his backhand. Backhand. When I said something about it, he pulled a small handgun from his bag and said, I would hate to say you had this and feel. Oh, so he threatened to put the gun on him. Okay. With my mag. I walked to the door looking for another officer. He was the only one during one of his episodes. So he must have went to the bathroom or something. I walked to the door looking for another. Oh, he was the only one during one of his episodes. I was alone and basically walked out of the front door. I will not become just another number on the police dartboard. Do you really think I will run because of a violation to protective order? Baltimore City refuses to give a stable man his son and would rather him look up to the state. I am turning myself in. Please share. Oh, okay. I'm trying to like look at him and like, do he look familiar? Oh, shoot. So we're going to take a quick break while I look at this picture. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. The Artist Exchange Radio Show with our special guest today, Mr. Josue. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
For shiny things, I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. I'm from. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate. I am here with Mr. Josue, and he's actually taking over the interview section today. So we just finished talking about Mr. Christopher Clanton, Fox Clanton. I guess he's from here, and he was actually on probably one of the later series of The Wire, and he was arrested for a bench warrant, and they took him to the hospital. He had an issue. He went to the hospital. He had a run-in with an officer that was getting high on a job, who threatened to put the gun in his possession and say it was his. And Mr. Clanton eventually escaped when the officer was away getting high, and he's now on a run. I've read his Facebook post that he put on. That was Saturday when he left this post. 2:13 a.m. on Saturday morning, he left this post, and so I guess he was arrested Friday. And this post, basically, he tells everything that happens, and at the end, he says that he's going to turn himself in, and he wants people to share this, so he's not just somebody that is considered, somebody that will end up killing himself or something like that. But Josue has the next story as well. Can you just give us a little snippet of what's going on?
There was an alleged, there was a gang-related murder up in Towson, and it was connected with MS-13 and the rival gang, 18th Street. 7 people were charged, 1 female, 1 juvenile, and the rest were male adults. And they followed the alleged rival gang member from the laundromat to his home and ended up stabbing him around 1 o'clock in the morning.
So the person that was killed was from another gang. Is that the gang who killed someone? Are they a well-known gang in this area?
Not mostly in Baltimore City, mostly in Prince George's County and Montgomery County.
Okay. And you're not familiar with the other man's gang, though?
I am familiar with the other man's gang.
So are they constantly fighting each other? Or
Yes, sir. It's been the gang MS-13 originally came from El Salvador.
Okay.
Where my heritage is from. And they had a dispute with each other. They separated, and they just.
So there used to be one group at first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so I've only done jury duty, knock on wood, one time, and the first case that I got was a gang-related beating. So they were beating this person in. It was unclear whether they were beating him in terms of his initiation, or he had did something. But I think they thought he had snitched or did something, and they beat him to a pulp. The pictures were horrific. His mother then took the steps to because he was underage, so she took the steps to contact the police and everything. He's in court. He had already given his statement in terms of telling actually what happened. He's in court, and he decides to say he doesn't know. I forgot. I don't know any of these people. I don't know what happened. Basically recanting his story. And first of all, I don't like jury duty. I would never want to do it again. But it really, it was frustrating because these young people, no matter what has happened to them in it or in association with it, they will protect their own. And it's the craziest thing. You're sitting here, your mother has put her face out there and put her life on the line basically for your protection, and you want to recant. Now, granted, they don't really offer any real safety to these people that come out when something like this happens, so I can understand that. But it is crazy to me to understand that they don't value life. Is it so? Are gangs? So we learned that gangs were initially protection for neighborhoods, and it wasn't necessarily about drugs or guns or money. But at some point, those things got kind of incorporated in it. Without kind of telling your personal story, what are they now? Are they still providing that type of structure, or are they community based, or is it this criminal activity?
I'm not really I can't really answer that question.
But okay, so you can't answer that one. I don't understand the loyalty.
It's just out of everything, it all started basically like being poverty, being poor, and then it just grew up to be an organization.
So that's the organization kind of roots. Okay. Is it like, how old is it? How old is that organization?
1980s and 1960s.
Oh, wow. So that's kind of like the beginning of like the drug trafficking and stuff like that. So they got to, I guess, the United States and kind of settled in various places. But how would one end up in the DMV area? Is it because they have family here? Or?
It didn't originally start in El Salvador in Central America. It started in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
And then that's when it migrated back then when people got deported.
Oh, so people who were already in here went back there. So what's the connection? Is that when they kind of separated in terms of the two different ones?
I would say, short story short, it would say it was a dispute because of the war that happened, the civil war that happened in El Salvador.
Okay.
Between the gangs and the militias.
Militia.
Pardon me. And
that's like the army.
Yeah. And they just led to a whole dispute that what now this world is, people, as they know, is a dangerous gang. And
aside from the violence and crime, for me, the loyalty to this organization, when you are dispensable as a human being, I don't understand how you can be loyal to something that would, in a heartbeat, turn on you. And often, once they even been turned on and they're sitting in a courtroom somewhere, if it gets to that point, their loyalty still becomes so much of a priority than their own safety or their family safety.
I would say it's not loyalty towards them. I would say mostly it's them being scared of the retaliation.
That turns into like this infinite loyalty that they have for these members. Are these a bunch of young people, or are there older people in it, or
a mixture of both?
Is the leadership young?
That's something I can't answer.
I get it. I understand. I'm just curious. That one kind of, and I really haven't dealt with many gangs before, other than that one trial that I was on for a couple weeks. I just could not understand the loyalty that young man had for that group. Like, how do you let this get to this point and then be like, you know what, I'm not going to do it?
Probably he was just scared that he probably saw somebody in the courtroom that could do him more harm instead of him speaking.
Well, I mean, whoever the leader was, considered a leader, he was there. He was a person on trial. So he was on trial on his own because he was the one who they alleged ordered the beating. And it just, I could see you being terrified, but if my mother's safety was at large, because his mother she's not a part of this. But does the loyalty not extend to family?
Now let me ask you this: when was it an African American team? Well, I mean, I'm not used to like.
So it's different rules for different organizations. Okay. But in that organization, is it more loyalty to you? Like, is it respect? Like, I may have a beef with you, but I'm not gonna take it to your family. Is it like laws like that, or
Basically, yes.
but it's only certain ones. It's not across the board. Okay. That it makes sense, but it really it's scary because even as I think I was probably like 20, 21. I don't really think I may have been that old, but I'm on trial and I was really frustrated. One, that I had to do this, but the fact that we got all this, we had to go through all of this to be even on the jury and losing time from work, so on and so forth in school. And this person basically, day one, I don't know what happened. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know none of these people. Like, totally denying everything that you had to sit in this room and say. And I get the fear, but it's still a certain level. If you know who my mother is, like his mother is sitting in there with you, you know who she is. Like, if you testify, this is gonna happen. But if you don't, it's still probably gonna happen. So I just didn't understand the sense of loyalty that the members have, even when they've been. So would that person, had it happened in that group, would that person still be in the gang?
There's only two ways to get out of the gang, and everybody knows that. It's either you die or you turn religious.
Oh, but again, is that across the board or is that certain gangs?
So, mostly, I would say, from my bad, what I've seen, mostly Hispanic gangs.
So a lot of these celebrities that acclaim that they had their start, like what's his name, the one who just killed. What was the one that was just killed? He was like a rapper. I cannot think of his name.
Recent?
Yeah, it was like in the last couple of months. He was the tall, light-skinned. Oh man. In California, he was just shot by like somebody else.
Nipsey
Hussle. Right, Nipsey Hussle. So him being in the gang at one time, like how was he able to survive like being like a regular person? So are you still, like they say Cardi B has connections to gangs, and supposedly a couple different rappers are Snoop and all of them had affiliations. So is affiliation different from being a member?
Affiliation is different from being a member.
So what makes you an affiliate?
Basically hang around with them, trying to be them.
Okay.
And an actual member, basically you're already in, you're doing their dirt work for them.
So how do they allow individuals to be affiliates and not force them to become members?
They basically, well, like in the Hispanic gang, they basically just invite you to things. Or you want to go smoke, or you want to go to a party, drink, and then that's how they watch you, they observe you.
So if somebody becomes a celebrity in the midst of that, are they treated differently, or?
Not really, it's just their loyalty. If you still helping them, throwing money down for them, it's basically like, say you're a big kingpin. And I'm trying to be under your wing, trying to get where you at. And I to become a celebrity, I would still have that same loyalty for you, baby. Like throw down money, or somebody else and that's locked up, or a funeral they need money. I would put money down, and that's how they get used to it. So.
I'm curious because some of the, and that was my issue with Nipsey Hussle. How are we, out of everything positive he did, how are we support? Because to me, you can't get out of a gang. And I see how he got spiritual, but I'm trying to understand how are we supporting this person who is a part of, or allegedly a part of. The same thing with like Cardi B and individuals like her. How do you maintain that connection, but people still look at you that way?
I mean, for the Nipsey Hussle case, I don't think it was, in my opinion, I don't think it was gang related. I mostly think
It didn't look like that wouldn't be how it would have happened.
Yeah, because they said that it was 2 shots to the chest, 1 to the head, or 5, like that, or however. And they said, like, it was government tactics on how he was assassinated. And there's nothing like if a gang member that hasn't had no military shooting like training, they would just let everything rain, like let the bullets just go.
So there have
wherever.
been other people that have been killed.
Yeah, or severely injured.
So the fact that they got him specifically and nobody else was injured or anything, that makes it probably non-related.
Yes, sir. Well, in my opinion, some people would think the same thing because ain't no way just...
Even though they're trying to blame it on that one person. Okay.
Like, it will be... There's something behind it. Because ain't no way that just a random guy from the street that's a gang member is going to have that military tactics on how to shoot a gun. Yes, they could pull the trigger, but of course they're going to be making sure the bullets... They wouldn't just aim for specific spots. They'll make sure that he either got a bullet in his thigh or in his kneecap or somewhere. But just the way how it happened, in my opinion.
I mean, but that makes a lot of sense, but it still makes you question like what really happened, or what was his life really like? Because it doesn't make sense that somebody's just jealous of you, and y'all have an argument, and you let somebody get that close to you again. So that's the part that was fishy to me. And he had no security. Now, even if I become a celebrity, can I phase myself out of this?
Yes, but also it would be hard because you're used to the hood type of way of living instead of living civilized.
Okay, so like getting out of it, are you speaking to it being difficult for you to get out because of those things, or?
That also feels like you wouldn't know like how to be civilized, be like your slang. Yes, some people they could adapt to it quick, but it's just if you've been in something too long or acted some way too long, it's kind of be harder for that person to adapt to a different community and the way different way to act.
Now, what about children? Does the rule still apply to children as well?
What do you mean?
So say you got into the gang as a young child. Are you allowed to get into a gang as a young child?
It's all different.
It's all different. It just depends on the situation. But what if I'm now like 17, 18? Can I walk away from this?
I wouldn't say. I would say no.
It'll still be the same if you don't. It's just, since that case, I've really questioned why somebody can be that loyal to something that is so detrimental to them, or you're not even in this no more. You just repping it, or you haven't been a member. The one thing that did confuse me was the affiliation thing. Like, is it the same structure as that? So what if I don't want to be affiliated no more? I can just walk away?
Basically, yeah, you just don't. The affiliation just means you're hanging out with them. You ain't officially part of something yet.
But still the same, but that's more so for like probably financial support, or because that's what they're saying about like Cardi B, like they financed her in the beginning until she became a celebrity. Is she obligated to like pay them back or shout them out, or?
Some people, like I said, like it's certain different, like their cultures is different.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Long live hip-hop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'ma show these niggas what to do at one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way.
Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world, I found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife, and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion. And her mama hated babysitting with a passion. She deserved better circumstances. A black queen, she should've been blessed with certain chances. Look down upon, getting all the hurting glances. Making men change up all the twerking stances. She never cried about the pain, only gritted her teeth. But most soldiers never get a flower or a wreath. She like G.I. Jane in the war with no relief. Don't recognize why killers was going through her beef. She said more prayers than the nun did. After seeing so much struggles with only one kid, the clinic said baby number 2 couldn't be undid. 9 months later, delivery and it's one big. But this time it was an older dude. But the shit happened so fast, she barely know the dude. Damn, but we all make mistakes though. And the older we get, that's how mistakes go. So he claimed the baby, now with no money. He said shit was hard and his dollars was kind of funny. Real was feeling like that was strike 2. So when it rains and pours, that's just how life do. She was thinking about her childhood and how life flew. A daddy she always loved, but she never quite knew. This was before the bags and the cellulite grew. Other bitches in her shoe, no telling what they might do. You lose a lot of friends, they start to despite you.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel rock. Let's do it.
If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head, I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Working mode, tell them where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell them where the cash. If you playing for you, gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. That was all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crap. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. What you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm about to go back. I gotta go back.
Welcome back. We're back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show. When I say some of this stuff is, and we're here with Josue, and he just been giving us topics. I don't want to talk about that no more, the gang part, because it's not scary to me, but I just think it's the dumbest thing. I understand it because a lot of stories that I've heard from people who were like gang members, it started out with them having a lack of family support. And a lot of times people find that support in these groups because they don't have it. And it's dysfunctional support, but it's still, nobody else is feeding you. And this person like, well, here go a couple dollars you can eat, or you can come over my house and eat these oodles and noodles, versus not having anything to eat or not having, basic things at home. I understand the lure that these gangs have, and safety. If you don't feel like you can protect yourself, or you live in areas where it's just you, is a safety thing as well. But I still don't get how people are tricked into this false sense of security. Because now I got to protect myself from you all, so you all will protect me from these people. So it's like a cycle. But the next one is the synthetic weed being found in CBD oils. And it's so legislation that Trump is trying to be a president and ban the flavors from it. But in me talking to Josue during a break, the original flavors weren't as toxic. Have you had any of the newer things, or?
I mean, I tried one of the blueberries, and it just like I felt like it was stronger than the regular kind. Because the
what you were
ones,
used to using.
Yeah, because the regular ones, yes, they got toxic chemicals in it, but it's not as worse as the ones that the flavored ones are coming.
Because that's your throat, so can you feel the difference in smoking it or inhaling it?
Yes,
Does it feel thicker, or
it feels like it takes the breath more.
Like a cigarette?
Yeah, just the way inhaling the flavor makes you like made more awakened, and then the regular one's okay, like it's the regular dosage type.
See, even tobacco for me, I remember trying tobacco because I was a smart ass kid and I wanted to be cool in front of my mom and be like, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette in front of my mother. And it was the dumbest thing because I smelled my finger and it smelled like horrible. And in my mind, I just pictured myself being that person who you walk by and they smell like a wet cigarette pack. And I was like, no, I don't want to ever do that again. So fast forward to now, because even being around somebody who smokes, and I know cigarettes are much worse, but this is it's still you burning chemicals that you don't know what's in it really. But I know being around cigarettes, it takes my body at least a day or two to kind of flush out. Just standing, like if I'm standing waiting for a train or something and somebody's smoking, even if it's on them, me smelling it, like my nose starts running for a day or two, and it felt like I gotta flush my system out of that. Like I just had a cigarette. So I'm wondering, are these new synthetics, are they just in, so now you can sell CBD oil without the THC in it? THC in it, and that's illegal because I'm starting to see that. I went to New York, they had just vape shops,
getting closed down and banned.
Yeah, because now they're trying to get rid of the flavors because they're the synthetics, and I cannot remember the name of what it's called, but I know it's potpourri, and I can't think of the name of it. So is that what this is, the synthetic?
It's just like they're adding more stuff to it that's not actually on the shelf at the regular stores.
So what would you suggest people buy? Not that I don't want to turn you into the...
I would say don't buy, but I mean, if you're smoking, you want to be quitting. In my opinion, this helped me quit smoking cigarettes. Because I used to go through half a pack in a day.
So how long does that last for you?
For me, it lasts a week and a half.
Just that one tube of it versus buying multiple packs of cigarettes every other day. But why do you need to smoke? Do you feel like you gotta smoke that?
I feel like it eases my nerves. Back when I was smoking cigarettes, I would go through half a pack in less than 12 hours, and it was just
how can you smoke that much? I'm telling you, standing by somebody smoking one cigarette, I feel I feel like I'm almost allergic to it.
Oh, after I started smoking the Jules,
that's how you feel around cigarettes.
Yeah, the smell of cigarettes, it just hurts my stomach.
Yeah, like the chest gets tight, and then I feel like how you feel when you got a sinus cold. Those are the symptoms, and I normally gotta I feel like I have the flu a day and a half after being around one person smoking. And I'm not even, I'm the person that'll keep moving, But just smelling it is like, so you've grown to have that sensitivity, but this has now created another. Do you feel addicted to this?
I mean, no, I mean, I could go days without smoking. It's just that I'd rather have something that'll calm my nerves down.
So these were supposed to be like a different type of hookah?
Not really, but like a different type, like a substitute to actual cigarettes. Even though it does contain partial nicotine.
Can I see it? So you just smoked this. So how do you smoke it? Like through this?
Inhale.
Through this right here. So everything is inside of...
It's on that little black piece.
This right
pod,
here?
Yeah.
So what is all of this?
That's the battery for it.
Oh, okay.
And if you double tap it, you'll see a green light. Or
Double
orange
tap
light,
where?
Just anywhere on it.
Oh.
And that will show the battery life.
So then you got to charge this up? That's a lot. That's addiction to me. That's a lot. So how will you get yourself off of this?
I just don't buy pods because it's all in here. It's just the liquid.
So this is running low.
Yeah.
So how long will this last you?
Probably to the end of tomorrow. Because I don't smoke it back to back. I'll probably take my 2
It just be that the smoke that comes from it, how it's thicker than the cigarette smoke. It's like it looks cleaner, but it be like a thick smoke that you just breathed in and out, and there's a lot more of it. Like, how is that? I'm nervous. I'd be so paranoid. I'm sorry. Cheeseburgers will be my vice. I can't. It's scary because I'm trying to imagine going from one vice to another vice, and that just but you don't feel right. You don't feel
it's like saying I smoke weed or weed don't get me high enough. Let me go try cocaine. Cocaine. Don't
See, and that's why I don't smoke weed, because in my mind that's what's gonna be the thing that happened. And all my friends are like, no, that doesn't happen. But I would be the one that'd be like, no, this shit ain't strong enough. I need something else. And I don't want that type of addiction on me. So I really feel like, and I'm not judging you or anybody, but I remember I didn't know how bad cigarettes were. I was a manager at Royal Farms, and I saw how, and there was like a Walgreens, not a Walgreens, a CVS, not too far from us. And when CVS stopped selling cigarettes, that's when I was a manager there. All their customers would come into our store now to buy cigarettes. And it was such a large group of people, like, and you'd be like, how do you, and even like I was starting to read the packs of it, and like the really cheap cigarettes, you're like, how do you put this shit in here? You can't even say these things, and you like inhaling it. And it just wasn't something that I tried a cigarette. I've never tried them. I did try, it's the one that looked like a cigarette, and because we had like stage cigarettes, and I did a play, and the young lady, I couldn't find the stage cigarette because the stage cigarettes just has powder in them, and it's a certain amount, and it just blows out. You can't blow it in. But she was smoking the e-cigarettes, the one that looks like an actual cigarette, and she was saying like, and I think she never smoked cigarettes. I think she smoked weed, and she's like, by the end of our run, she was addicted to them. Like she said, she had bought more because she was puffing so much that ours ran out, and you had to go buy another one because they wasn't rechargeable. You just had to keep
just like the
buying
blue, the one
the
that
blue.
they call blue, BLU.
Yeah, but these actually look like a cigarette, but you could tell it wasn't because it was hard. But she was like, I've never smoked these before, but I just felt this urge to start smoking. She said she wasn't smoking anything else after that. She was only, like, she was taking the fake cigarette home and like using it. Because I kept wondering why. I was like, you can't keep doing that because you're going to waste it. And she's like, no, I'll be good. And it lasted. But she was saying because she was buying them herself. And she just got so addicted to it. And she was like, the crazy thing is she never smoked cigarettes. So she was smoking those and was getting addicted to it and didn't even realize that it was possible for her to have this addiction to it. Nope, give me a cheeseburger or some Popeyes and I'll be good. That'll be my advice.
Oh, a quick one. You talk about Popeyes. What you think about the new chicken sandwich?
First of all, you all were bamboozled because Popeyes has always had a chicken sandwich. That chicken sandwich has always been around, and they just remarketed it. What I think they did was they dipped it again, so you know how they batter it up, and they battered it just like they battered the chicken. They put it in the egg wash, and they put it in the flour, and I think they mother did it again in the egg wash, and then back in the flour, and then that's what was on the sandwich. But Popeyes has always had a chicken sandwich, and I haven't said that on here, but Popeyes has always had a chicken sandwich. I worked at Popeyes when I was a teenager. They had a chicken sandwich because they got this, my friends are so disrespectful. They got like, it was like a bun warmer where you toast the bread and it rolls out. They had started selling that, and they tricked you all. Did you get one? I wasn't paying $8 for that. I refused to pay $8 for a sandwich that used to be like $3 and some change. Like, I'm not. They've always had a chicken sandwich. I don't think people realized it because people only used to get their. People used to only get their sandwiches. I mean, their chicken or their fish. Like, they have fish sandwich. They have a fish sandwich. So I think that's gonna be the next grade, the fish sandwich that they got.
It's just so basically they're just remarketing like they remarketed the McRib from McDonald's.
Yeah, like but with the McRib, they actually take it away and bring it back
like once a year.
The chicken, if you go there, and now it's gonna be on the menu. But if you went there prior to this, you would have saw the chicken sandwich on their menu. Like, you could have gotten a chicken sandwich at any time.
Just like this video right here that I'm about to show you. It's just how after they like just make fun of everybody for it.
FYI, people need to. Chick-fil-A and Popeyes will sell more McChickens than both of y'all on.
We have chicken sandwiches too. No one gives a
This is crazy.
Oh, this get too good.
I love whoever does this one is
all three y'all stop that MF and fight
crazy.
in my backseat. Just know when we get on there, all three y'all.
Do you like the Chick-fil-A sandwich?
I mean, I only tried it once.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that was when I got the chicken sandwich. I mean, it's alright. It was just
Yeah.
a little bit dry.
The Chick-fil-A sandwich? Okay.
I didn't add no sauce.
Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, we sell more McChickens than both of y'all all game.
It's really I'm just saying to you all, don't buy a $7.99 sandwich. And they probably got rid of the other chicken sandwich on the menu, or it's something different about that chicken sandwich. But I'm here to tell you, I worked at Popeyes. That was my first real job. My second. I had a summer job, but this was my first full-time job as a teenager. And I became a manager there. And I'm telling you, they've always had a chicken sandwich. I don't know if people realized it, but I feel bad. I feel bad for the people that went out and spent $8 and some change on that sandwich when they've always had that sandwich. When they first, and I'm gonna tell you, I didn't go stand in nobody's line. I went to Popeyes and I didn't order the sandwich. I just got regular chicken. Because I think that's dumb. That's like them marketing the drumstick. You've been selling drumsticks, and I'm telling you, the fish sandwich is gonna be next. And they have a really good fish sandwich. Like, the fish is really good. It's not like, it's a fillet, but it tastes different. But they just batter. But the chicken sandwich is battered. It's not like a frozen thing. It is like a chicken breast, and they just spread it out. They batter it in the egg wash, just like they do the chicken. So it had the same crunch as the chicken. And the bread is what they've always used. They toast the bread. I heard people like, the bread is so buttery and so, it's greasy. Like, it's the grease from the chicken.
I think Popeye's would have a dispute with McDonald's over the fish fillet.
Why?
Because most people know McDonald's for sending it, but some people don't order it off of when they go to Popeyes.
The fish, well, most because they do sell seafood there. They have like the shrimp, and then every now and again they got the etouffee and the fried crawfish and stuff like that. So that has been something that's always on the menu too. So they have seafood, but they have a fish sandwich. But their fish sandwich is actually better than McDonald's. Like, I'm just telling you, it's better. But that's only because they've always had a fish sandwich, a chicken fillet sandwich. Those are the only sandwiches they have. And now I think some of them do the po' boys, and that's when they fill it up with the shrimp. But they've had, that's like in certain ones, but they've had the two sandwiches for around. Like, they've had those sandwiches forever. Please don't get tricked by this. I want to go to a quick commercial break because I think you got one more story. Yeah, I'm going to go to a quick commercial break right now. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back with the final story of the day.
Like, the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like, yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up against, go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all her homies head. I could wait for your response, but they love to hear me talk, so I'll just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out the darkness, and my word is my bond. Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or in the way, so get lost. Be a man of everything you say you stand for. Lead your people by example, being hands-on. If you're back against the wall, then get your mash on. Fix your vision on the future like it's fast forward. The world is yours in due time, ain't gotta ask for it. I'm from the school of hard knocks, I took a crash course. Should be stressful, my nigga, that's why I'm getting high. But that's life, and it's the code that I live by. And you know how it is, where we at, nigga. They say money can't buy happiness, but I be happy as a bitch when I can have dinner. Learn from your losses or you end up like the last nigga. I fall off, I bounce back, I really come from the dirt. But if you wanna make it happen, gotta put in the work. The word will kick you when you down, and I know this shit hurt. And it's crazy cause your family, your shit on you first. My sister stabbed me in my chest, I had a hole in my shirt. I never said a prayer for her on my way to the hearse. I died twice that night, man, I'm just happy to be here. And shit like that is the reason I never be scared. Was drifting through the smoke in the field, I couldn't see clear. It's deeper than the rap, I'm where the bottom of the sea is. Was trying to make it happen till I happen to ball. It's all mind over matter, the fuck the matter with y'all, huh? Be a man of everything.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue, and she wants to be.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Back. This is the last segment of the Artist Exchange Radio Show, and I have Mr. Josue with me. Huh?
Josue Garcia.
He been doing his research. He got your government. So we are here, and we've been basically bringing up some topics. I really like the topics. You got a knack for that. I don't do topics very well because I always pick stuff that's gonna make me mad, and it's hard. Like I was talking earlier about keeping your rights to everything. But the second part of Josue's last story was the gentleman in Illinois that will be suing the e-cigarette company Juul because he has suffered lung damage for excessive use of their products. Now, the flip side of this is, one side of this is, all of these e-cigarettes, when they first came out, claimed to be safer than smoking cigarettes. It was supposed to be a cleaner burn. It was supposed to be such a minute level of nicotine that it wouldn't even be considered a cigarette. And it was supposed to help you wean yourself off of cigarettes. Now, the frustration that I had before we get to the story was they were allowing people to smoke it. Well, they were allowing people to smoke indoors, but people felt like this is not a real cigarette. I can smoke this inside. And you would get people on buses. Now, one of the reasons why I was so glad cigarettes got banned from public places, because I used to go out to clubs and you would come home from the club smelling like a cigarette. So whatever you had on that next morning when you woke up, your room reeked of cigarette smoke, because they used to be legal at one time. This is before you were born, probably. But it was so frustrating because you would really come home. You know what a room smells like when it's somebody been smoking. Imagine your clothes smelling like that. And I would be so frustrated. Right? No, like a whole pack of cigarettes. And don't let it be raining, because then, yeah, it's going to smell like a wet dog. But it's the nastiest, disgusting thing. So now that was banned, I was like, I can go out now. Like, I can go out and go to a club and not come home smelling like cigarettes. But now these e-cigarettes, and they don't have a smell. You can smell it, but it's like a burning smell, but it's not really. Like if you burn like a real weak incense, that's what it'll smell like. So it's not really that harsh chemical smell, nicotine tar smell from a cigarette. But I'm still like, no, because this is still smoke. And I don't know what's in the smoke. I don't know what, it could be synthetic weed. So what if I breathe that in? So I could get possibly that secondhand synthetic weed smoke.
Synthetic weed is based like K2. It's fake weed.
K2, that's the name of it. K2, that's the name of it. So K2 is the potpourri. So that potpourri that your granny got sitting on the table, that's crushed up and they smoke it. Now I don't know who thought like that might be some good stuff to smoke. But have you seen somebody smoke that before, or you been around somebody that smoked that before?
Yeah.
But they are whacked out.
Because nowadays they're just adding a bunch of chemicals to it, a bunch of different things that could actually kill you. Back then it wasn't such a big problem, but even though it was still fake weed, it will only give you a high for like 20 minutes, 15.
But I don't know what they're doing. That must have been when they first started. I was about to say no.
But now it's just...
Because there's people my age and your age that is high outside and whacked out of their mind from smoking it. And not judging anyone, I'm just saying, I've never seen like a teenager like high like that before. Maybe like weed, you mean a little off. But when they be like leaned over or nodding out, it's from this K2.
It's like basically smoking the water.
What's the water?
PCP.
I don't know what that is.
PCP is like, I don't really know what it really is. It's just like...
Is that like Dipper?
Yeah, the
you
Dipper.
know? Okay, so I know what Dipper is. I worked at Woodland Job Corps Center, and this young man, they came and got me, and they told me that this young man was having a fit. And I don't know if you've ever been to that Job Corps. They have it's like a long little road that goes inside of it, and he was walking back and forth, butt naked. And the man was like, when I first started working there, it was a lot of people from DC. That's like a DC thing. And he was like, if you smoke cigarettes, don't take no cigarettes from these people because you don't know. But that's like a blunt or a cigarette dipped in embalming fluid. What the fuck is wrong with people?
They get, like I said, they get tired of smoking weed. They try to find another thing that will get them.
Embalming fluid. Now that's formaldehyde. That's in other products. I think it's like in like the lash thing and stuff like the eyelash thing. So that formaldehyde is in other products, but I'm just in cigarettes. It's in cigarettes, but they dip it in the liquid, and then because the flame is different, I've seen them light the flame, and I saw what the Dipper flame looked like, and it's just blue. It don't have no red, no whites, no yellows
like a
in
bluish,
it.
Blue, dark blue.
Yeah, it's just blue, and that's scary because you're like, what is that flame? Like that looks crazy.
It's like a flame on the stove.
Yeah, yeah.
Blue.
But I just remember that. So now, fast forward into K2 and realizing first you were dipping stuff in like formaldehyde and embalming fluid. Now you're crushing up potpourri and like taking that in. The smell of potpourri on a table can be too strong. So you now inhaling that. Now, the only one dumb thing I ever did was when I was in middle school, like I went to a Catholic school, so they're normally pine cones and wreaths and garland, and it'd be real all over the place. And it was this young man named Daniel Santiago. I never forget it. He was from Peru. Do you know Daniel Santiago? He's my age, so you probably wouldn't know. But his name is Daniel Santiago, and he dared me to smoke. He had rolled up the pines in like this piece of paper, and he dared me to smoke it. And when I say the inhale from just pine leaves, and you know they like the little prickly little, just inhaling that, I had a headache. And that was middle school. I said I would never do any drug at all. I would never in my whole life ever even touch it. Pine cones made me like it was just I think the smell of it, and then I inhaled it, so it probably went straight to my head. I was dizzy. I had a headache, and then I had to explain to our headmaster, that's the principal, what had happened. And Daniel is like, he just didn't care. He just did stupid stuff. Daniel was a genius, but he just did stupid. He was like on a spectrum. You would think he was on the spectrum because as smart as he was, he just would try dumb stuff. And I'm like, who would know that you could roll up pine cones or pine leaves and smoke it? And he was like, literally like lighting it and from this, sorry, near the phone. But Yeah, that was my only stupid thing. And I said I would never. That's why I don't judge people, because I tried that, but that was like a stupid 7th grader being stupid with Daniel Santiago, and we almost got into trouble because we were doing. It was considered drugs on in the school. Drug paraphernalia on school ground, and it was really just the trees from all the decorations from Christmas. But so how would you like to end this, sir?
No, what do you have in mind?
Like how this is the last segment. You gotta close it out. In short, are you gonna try K2 synthetic marijuana?
Nah, I ain't never gonna try K2. You're not gonna see me being another victim of becoming something that I'm not.
But they be gnawing off like a real, like what we think junkie dope fiend is.
It's basically like trying out Xanax. How Xanax be having you, basically like blackout. You be drooling and all that.
No, that must be what they be doing too. But we're gonna. This is the end. We'll be back on Friday. Hopefully Josue wasn't scared today, because he'll be back next week. But we'll be back Friday, same time, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, if you want to be a guest on the show, or if you want to host, you can host. We have some pop-up hosting positions. So that's the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram mainly. I don't do Twitter. I don't talk enough for Twitter. But Instagram and Facebook definitely at the Artist Exchange Radio Show, or you can find me on my personal page at Nate VashtiBlue Couser. Shout out to all of our awesome hosts and guests that continue to support the show. And that's it. The Artist Exchange Radio Show. No more shows today. The next show is tomorrow with Talk Lately, and I don't know what that's going to be about. Shout out to Malik Yoba. We'll be back next week. No, Friday, I'm sorry.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive.